So initially, I wanted to be a PE teacher, which I still am, just not as much as I was when I started. But I love health, fitness, wellness, sports. So I wanted to do that for the rest of my life and become a PE teacher. I think the most challenging component of being a first responder is just the things that we see, things that we encountered on the job, lots of death and despair and stuff like that. I think that's just talking with my peers and like repeated exposure to seeing those things over and over and over again, where you just sort of get used to it and it just becomes literally like just a job. So the more times I saw it, then it just got easier to deal with. Yeah, I think the communication skills that I've learned and experienced in the medical field, like without a doubt, has helped me communicate with high school students. Not just like sharing my experiences, but just having empathy for difficult circumstances that they may be dealing with, and it just made it, easier to communicate. It just feels like second nature, so to speak. Let's see. Yeah, I would just say like my communication skills, because, the healthcare field, like it's the biggest component of that is good communication. So whether you're talking to patients, your peers, other hospital staff, physicians, that's certainly like a transferable skill that I've been able to utilize in the classroom setting. I would say like that experience in the medical field, where I've experienced, death and despair and fires and car accidents and CPRs and people dying in extremely stressful situations, has made it teaching at the high school like much easier, I think, to deal with just the nuances of being a high school teacher. The things that maybe other people think are a big deal, like I usually don't get too worked up over, just because I think my experience, and to me, like that other stuff is just, I don't want to say it's not that big a deal, because it is to maybe somebody else, but to me it's just like another day at work. What is the most challenging? I don't think it was one particular situation, but I think it's the people that you're working with, because in that field, there's a lot of type A personality people where they think that how they do things is the right way. So going back to communication, so it's just being able to work with your peers, and sometimes it's extremely difficult, versus the emergencies we respond to. Like, we're only in those emergencies for maybe 15 minutes to like an hour, versus like the people that you're working with, we spend the entire shift with, maybe multiple years with. So I think that can have the most wear and tear on you and be draining. So I think depending on your peers, and if you work with not very good people, I think that is the most difficult part of being a first responder. Like I've said, communication is the foundation of being a medical provider. Without good communication skills, we just cannot do our jobs, and we can't get the information that we need. So we do a variety of things. We do interactive scenario-based things where students are working in groups. They present in front of their peers. I make them kind of like communicate with me about certain things, even if it's outside of their comfort zone. So it's really just trying to push them outside of their comfort zone. And I'm not trying to do it to make them feel uncomfortable, but to try to prepare them for a future in healthcare. When I was a firefighter, I worked on an engine with a crew that I just didn't enjoy working with, and it was extremely difficult. We just didn't get along. I didn't like the way they did things. I didn't like the way they treated me, and it was difficult. It was difficult to show up to work every day and be happy and do my job. But I just try to remember the mission, and the mission is to protect life and save property, and you try to think about those things and just remember why you show up to work every day, and try to work through the discrepancies that I had with the people that I worked with. But it was difficult, so. To be honest, I wasn't seeking to teach this stuff. I was approached by somebody within the district, and they just asked me if I wanted to start this pathway, and I said yeah. I really enjoy teaching about my experiences, but teaching this content that I enjoy, and yeah.